Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity?
Ergo Proxy is a cyberpunk anime television series that has been produced by Manglow. It has also been directed by Shuko Murase and written by Dei Saito. In a post-apocalyptic utopian future where humans and autowaves androids coexist peacefully until a virus gives the androids self-awareness causing them to commit a series of murders. Inspector Riel Mayer is assigned to investigate, discovering more implicated plot behind it that involves a humanoid species as Proxy, who are a subject of secret government experiments. I thought this anime was pretty good. And shockingly, even me watching it now as a kid watching this, I wasn't really pulled in that much. Well, you know, a lot of a lot of animes back then really didn't satisfy me when it comes to this type of development cycle. When I watched anime as a kid, I like anime to be more down to the point, more fast paced, and more action based. Ergo Proxy doesn't really deliver those things when it comes to those aspects. It likes to focus on the drama, chemistry, the environmental aspects, and when it comes to slow pacing of character development cycles. I'm saying that because there's a lot of animes that I have watched and try to get into that young adults that was older than me try to put me involved in, since I liked anime back then, and I just had to let them go. But Ergo Proxy was one of those animes that, even to this day, that if people that are my age try to give it a chance and they did not like it, I can completely understand. But at the same time, I really would recommend people to check this anime out, even if it comes to people losing their touch to it. And by me understanding that this anime does drag a little bit, I do get it. Okay, I do get why people would not want to watch this anime this much, or people praise it to the high heavens. So let's start with the good. First of all, by this anime dragging, I did not mind it as much. There was some parts of the anime that I thought the dragging was unnecessary, but as we was beginning to understand the character development and the environment cycle of the post-apocalyptic scenery of this anime, I get it. I understand why they wanted this pacing to be slow as possible, because they had a lot of detail and a lot of dialogue to explain here. They want to show us the atmospheric levels of the post-apocalyptic turns to this anime when it comes to the infection. They want to show us how the auto waves are when it comes to the relation of this apocalyptic environment. Same thing with the humans too, and the Ergo Proxies. And that's where the characters come in. And so far, I thought the character development was okay. It wasn't bad. It was a little rough around the edges. When it comes to the character development, such as Vincent Law and Pino, I thought they was necessary. I thought they fit well when it comes to explaining how things were, other than just the environment itself. The environment was mostly done by scenery and by the characters showing how things was in the outside world, other than the bubble that they was living in. But at the same time, I thought Vincent Law's character was great, because by him being a proxy and him not being aware of it, his memory, he was memory suppressed. So he does not know what's going on with himself. He believed that he was just a regular worker and that was it. He did not remember anything before that, or by him being a proxy himself. So by him being aware of these actions and these crimes that he is related to, he has to know more about his character, and we as a viewers has to know about this character as well. And I thought the pacing was well good. Now, about people being aware of these proxies existing, people thought that these proxies was the entity of the devil, these evil synths that people need to take down, which is Riel Mayer's character. She is trying to get into the bottom of these proxies to try to see what their purpose was. Are they violent? Are they not violent? Are they destructionable, or are they just things that's trying to find answers? I thought our character development was okay, not bad, but as we get involved into these proxies, they explain us to the point where we begin to understand these proxies. Not all these proxies. In fact, almost all these proxies are not violent at all. These proxies are godlike figures that can that can shapeshift, bend time, use their powers against people, sometimes use their minds against people, hallucinate certain things, or use certain environments in their own well-being. But at the same time, they do not like to interact with humans because they know that if they interact with humans, violence is going to be involved. I kind of like the proxies in a way because in certain terminology, these proxies is trying to find their own source of living, especially since the post-apocalyptic scenery has occurred. Since the end of the world is approaching, how are they going to approach their existence? Then here's Pinot's character. I liked her character because it shows you the aspect of how auto waves are living amongst the living as well. I thought it was pretty good because by her being an android auto wave type person, I thought that her pacing was good, and it shows you the aspects of them wanting to live, them being more than just robots, and them trying to interact with proxies and being interacted with human in the intelligent cycle of living beings as well. I thought that Pinot was great. At first, I was a little itching for Pinot's character because I felt like by this being a post-apocalyptic world and them trying to survive and people trying to find answers, I thought by her being a kid in the anime and her being one of the main characters, I thought she'll be one of the characters that's gonna trip over things, mess things up, make things worse, add a lot of confusion to the whole cycle of things being out of control. But no, Pinot's character was actually one of the characters on the anime that made sense. She was mostly into common sense and stuff, but at the same time, she's a kid, so she's going to do things that kids do, but not to the point where you're going to hate her character. I thought her character was well paced and well executed. The anime environment and the pacing of the post-apocalyptic look is amazing. Indeed, even though it was made out of its time back then, I thought it was well known. Now, me owning the Blu-ray version, I'm very picky by re-owning Blu-ray versions that was remastered from the 1990 and 1980 versions of anime because they like to include these two boxes. That infuriates me for no end. I feel like if you're going to re-release something and it's going to be an HD or a Blu-ray remaster, make it look good, make it look noticeable, make the anime sequence and the environment itself be mind-blowing. And if you can't do that and you just want to put an HD and Blu-ray title to it, that's fine. But get rid of these fucking boxes, okay? Games do this as well, but Ergo Proxy is astonishing. I was mind blown with the graphics and the cinematography too, and I can tell that they repolished these things. I am gonna try to see if they got a 4K version of this too, and if they do, I cannot wait to purchase it. But it's wishful thinking. And if this is not fitting into the post-apocalyptic gestures is enough, let's talk about the intro and the outro of this anime. I thought the intro and the outro was great. The introduction, Paranoid Airjoy by Radiohead. First of all, I am a huge Radiohead fan. I have been a Radiohead fan for a while, and I can see where this all started. It was because of this anime, watching it as a child. The introduction was great, and if not the music, I just love the scenery too, as it shows certain areas in the most like oil pastel painting type of way, giving you that creepy vibes of you just getting pulled into the atmosphere as you're listening to the music. I thought it was great. I thought it pulled me in a lot, and I felt related to the anime's introduction. I was getting sucked into it as if I was like taking too much edibles. And then the introduction too, Kiri by Monorail, I thought it was great. And it pulled me in with the characterization of the introduction of this anime. Riel, Vincent Law, Pino, but it really pulled me in a lot, especially with Vincent Law's character as he gets sucked in by him trying to embrace the fact that he is a proxy, but he wants to still fight it by his subconsciousness. And that's when Monorail pulls in by saying certain lines, as in by him trying to prevent himself becoming a proxy, but he has to become a proxy. So he's asking people to just try to help him understand what is going on with himself. Will you save me? Just to be clear, the anime is more focused on the atmospheric levels of post-apocalypticization than the reaction of these characters. These characters is trying to understand themselves and understand the meaning of themselves. Proxies want to understand what the meaning of the word proxies is, and if some proxies don't want to understand that shit, then they are trying to be the best version of themselves. Humans are trying to make sense of what's going on in the outside world because they're tired of living in the bubbles that they're in, especially Riel Mayer, and at the same time, auto waves are trying to understand everything around them and trying to be more than just servants and human and doing things to human nature. I thought that this anime was good when it comes to explaining these things, but the delivery of it could have been done better. And by me saying that this anime could have been done better is the pacing. There are some times where the anime will slow burn, and by things being taking place and you getting pulled into the atmosphere. And I'm telling you, there's some episodes on here that you really get involved in, and then you be like, wow, this is really getting good, and it's beginning to pick up. But then sometimes it just falls, and then it just be a filler, and then it just drags out unnecessarily. Now, I don't mind animes that have fillers, but if you're gonna have fillers on these animes like this, then explain things that we did not make sense to. Ergo Proxy do this, but they focus more on the filler aspect than you understanding certain things of what's going on with the environment or the character cycle. One filler episode that I did fuck with, though, was Pino's episode. I felt like if Vincent Law and Riel is more focused on themselves on this anime, then how about if you're going to include Pino, give her an episode, and they have done that here, and I thought that it was good. And the episode was just her being stuck in Wonderland, and everybody was just acting so suspicious and zombie-like, and the whole place is ran by this person that really resembles Walt Disney, but in a more creepy and aspect tone. I was gonna say that this anime does give me creepy references to certain things that I can relate to, such as Akira as well. And I'm not saying that because Vincent Law's outfit resembles Kaneda's. This is just more me saying that this anime has done so well to the point where it has a lot of good mixtures of post-apocalyptic gestures, creepy gestures, horror gestures, and even things that, even though it did not make sense to me, I was getting Drakengard vibes for some reason, especially at the last episode, the very last episode. And I was like, wow. Things has gotten better, and I kind of wish that animes and shows and movies would do this, but at the same time make more sense of why you're adding these type of references to it. I know I keep talking about the characters such as Vincent Law and Pino's character so much, but that's because they pulled me into the point where I love this anime because of these two. I want to know more about these two characters. As for the main character that kind of give us the introduction of these two characters, Riel Mayer, well, honestly, I did not like Riel that much. I thought Riel Mayer's character could have been done way more justice. At the beginning and through the end of the anime, her character development cycle was just dull. She was just a bitchy character, had an attitude towards everybody, including her main friend, which is Iggy. I liked Iggy's character, but at the same time, even there were times where he could not stand her as well, especially in the last part of him being in the anime where he was getting ready to get killed off, and his last words was just him telling her that you're a snooty, you're a snooty, pretentious bitch. You've always been a snooty, pretentious bitch. And it made me wonder, at one point I was like, look, if she's a bitchy character, how about you explain why she's a bitchy character? I feel like if you're going to have a bitchy character be the main protagonist of the anime, how about y'all give us a reason why she's a bitchy character? Give us some type of innovation of why she's like this. They tried, but it wasn't enough for me to be owned by it. It was just a come and go gesture, and some of them was dream sequences. So I felt like that could have been done more better, of her being this character that people for some reason liked, but at the same time I needed more characterization with her. I feel like if you're gonna make a main protagonist be an asshole or be a bitchy character, and we're supposed to like this character, have us know why they're like this so we can at least relate to why they're like this. Hence this. If you're going to have a good guy, have them be in good spirits. If you're going to have a main protagonist that is somehow emotionally broken or an asshole or want to push people away, then have us be aware of why they're like this. And to even prove this, I thought they was going to explain this. I thought they was going to at least have Iggy explain the reason why Riel is like this, since in his last dying words, he called her a pretentious bitch. But no, in fact, it was even worse so, because by Iggy being one of the main people that known Riel from the jump, by him actually saying this before before his last words, which was his last words, it showed me that she was like this from the very beginning. Which is even worse, because I hate it when characters are the main characters, and we're supposed to like these main characters, and they're like this, and there's no innovation of why they're like this at all, so we can at least try to understand why they like this. I feel like if the bitch Oscar Langley from Evangelion was the main character of this anime, nothing would have changed at all. Nothing would have changed at all, and I'm not making this up. But other than that, I feel like this anime is not bad. I feel like it's bad when it comes to the main developers crafting of the protagonist's pacing. That is it. But other than that, I feel like the slow burns of this anime was unnecessary. I felt like the pacing of the main protagonist could have been done a hell of a lot better, especially when it comes to the attitude of how she portrays other characters. The fact that she was treating Pino like shit, a little girl, and the fact that she was pushing Vincent Law all over the place. There were times I thought he was going to kill her ass. And I wouldn't even have been mad if that would happen, because there were times where she would deserve that shit. But I was like, you know what? Let's see how this drags out. But it dragged out to the point where her attitude was never explained. I wanted to know what her actions was, of why she was like this, more than them trying to find answers of existence and post-apocalyptics being held in place in this anime. It's sad. I wanted to see how the main protagonist is the way they are, more than how the environment is the way it is. But I didn't get that answer here, and I was let down with a slow burn. Now, some people may like Brielle's character, and I don't know why. I think the only good gestures of her character was the fact that she stands out from a lot of female characters, even toward this day, and it's from simple reasons. Because she has blue eyeliner with pale skin, and she likes to sleep in the bed half naked with the same underwear on every single time she falls asleep. Basically, weebs liking her character from that reason, without addressing the issues that that is in front of us. But other than that, I thought the anime was not bad. I thought that it lacked certain type of elements that I mentioned. But other than that, I would suggest you checking this out, especially if you want to watch it in the most high definition tone. You will be satisfied, especially if you are into Ergo Proxy in the first place, and if you're aching to get the Blu-ray version. I'm going to have to give Ergo Proxy a C. At the end of the day, animes like this, people call it a masterpiece, but only when you bring it up. But animes like Ergo Proxy, in my opinion, is not a masterpiece. It's not revolutionary, because people don't bring up Ergo Proxy. Animes such as Cowboy Bebop, Perfect Blue, Trigun, Akira, 3x3 Eyes, Ninja Scroll, I can go on and on with this. Fist of the North Star, I can go on and on with this. Evangelion, I can go on and on with this. Those are animes that are the birthright of what makes us love animes altogether. Crying Freeman, I can go on and on with this. Berserk, I can go on and on with this. Those animes are revolutionary and masterpieces, because not only that they have good scenarios of us being pulled in from a young age, or even adults watching those animes, and it really points out of the meaning of animes, but it stands out in its own creative tone when it comes to violence, exposure, context, and even sexuality as well. But Ergo Proxy, there is nothing creative about this anime other than the sceneries, the cinematography, and that's it. Character development, no. Dialogue, no. Chemistry, no. So I feel like when people say these things about Ergo Proxy, I question that shit. And I may get some controversy on this review, but hey, I'm always open for debate. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming anime reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.